Many parents will do anything they can to give their children a better future. But sometimes they and their kids have to make terrible sacrifices for their dreams. In Moldova, in Eastern Europe, so many parents have left to find work elsewhere that a generation of children are left behind, growing up virtually alone. Here's their story.
14-year-old Tatiana Petrea is alone most of the time, not by choice. An entire generation of children are growing up without parents. An extraordinary thing is happening in Moldova, a former Soviet republic in southeastern Europe. People are leaving the country by the hundreds of thousands in search of a better life abroad. The consequences for Tatiana and thousands of others are painful and traumatic.
I'm missing mother support. I need her encouragement.
At Tatiana's village school, Vera Ginkota, an English teacher, has just become school principal.
You see, the previous principal has left for Portugal.
Vera says that finding replacements for teachers is becoming almost impossible.
Young teachers don't come to school, but if they come, they don't stay here for long. Just after some months of work, they leave for some other place to find a better salary.
A teacher asked the children at Tatiana's class how many had parents abroad. A quick show of hands demonstrates the extent of the problem.
What's missing? Parents' love, because they are far.
There are fewer than 4 million people in Moldova. Official statistics show that up to 270,000 children under 14 live with only one parent. And a massive 40,000 children, including Tatiana, live without either parent. The eerie quiet of Tatiana's village betrays the sudden loss of population. It's hard to find young adults here. It's mostly children and the elderly that remain. In some rural regions, almost 80% of adults have gone. Ekaterina Petrea, Tatiana's mother, moved to Italy 5 years ago after her husband died in Moscow, where he'd gone to find work.
I suffer, she suffers, I understand it. But there is no other solution.
Ekaterina works as a caregiver for an elderly Italian woman. Unlike many migrants, she's a legal worker and free to travel back home whenever she can. On Sundays, she meets other Moldovan migrants at the village square. Most Moldovans working in Western Europe are illegal. They face the danger of being caught by the police and deported. That makes visiting their home countries even more difficult and further complicates their ties with those they left behind. Tatiana lives in a very comfortable home full of modern appliances. Her brother goes to college in the capital. An adult member of the family keeps an eye on her, but she's learned to take care of herself. Her mother sends whatever money she can save. Remittances from Moldovans abroad account for almost 1/3 of the country's economy. But Tatiana would give up all the money in the world for her mum's presence.
I would rather have her stay home with us. It would be much better to have her all the time with us than having all this new stuff in the house.
In spite of having her mother abroad, Tatiana is fortunate to have her love. Many Moldovan children aren't so lucky. It's easy to see what 11-year-old Vasile wants to be when he grows up.
I want to be a secret agent.
Vasile's parents are divorced. His father lives in Russia and his mother in Italy. For the past 8 years, Vasile has lived in this orphanage, one of the biggest in the country. The majority of the 580 children here have their mums and dads abroad, and like Vasile's, their immediate families haven't the means or wish to care for them.
O viață ideală ar trebui să fie împreună cu părinții,
An ideal life for me would be to stay with my parents for the rest of my life and for all of us to love each other forever.
Și să ne adorăm unul pe altul.
Over 12,000 Moldovan children live in places like this throughout the country. Their dream is that one day their parents will come back and take them home. Brother VRL and sister Radica have been here for 6 years. They crave family love and desperately miss the help and advice of adults.
Mama îmi lipsește când
I really miss my mother when I have to do my homework.
când trebuie să fac temele pentru acasă, când am nevoie de mama.
I would love my mother's guidance on things like how to behave properly.
Să știu cum să mă comport.
I also miss her advice on what I should do in the future.
Cum trebuie să mă comport când atunci sunt mare.
The massive exodus of Moldovan citizens is a recent problem, and experts say that not enough has been done to protect those who've been left behind, especially children. Psychologist Radica Mararu has studied the problems of migration and its effect on hundreds of boys and girls.
The children are suffering a lot in the absence of their parents. They become reclusive, they lose their self-confidence, and they become unable to communicate with their peers.
Tatiana is fortunate to have someone she can talk to. Maria, Tatiana's best friend, is also growing up alone. They keep company and support each other. Their friendship makes their difficult lives more tolerable. To reach out to her mother, Tatiana writes weekly letters. This is always an emotional occasion for mother and daughter alike.
Good afternoon, my dear and beautiful mother. It's a gorgeous, sunny day. Here everything is fine and we are feeling very well. Here we don't have much news. How about you? Are you okay? Please don't get upset with anything. I will add some photos. And please do not tell anyone about any of the things I have told you.
Bună ziua, scumpa și frumoasa mea mamică.
I love you very much and I would like you to come home soon and never leave us again. We love you and we are waiting for you.
Ekaterina plans to return home for good in 3 years, or bring Tatiana to Italy if she's allowed to. Meanwhile, her daughter, like so many other Moldovan children, will have to face her difficult teenage years alone.